Alright, mud lovers?
Hi everyone, Sci-Finds and I are down here on the ghostly foreshore to do our Halloween special. And we're also going to be telling a few Thames related ghost stories. And I'm going to leave it up to you to see whether you think they're true or not. But one thing's for sure is they're very frightening, so get ready.
That's right, we're down here on the terrifying Thames foreshore, and later we'll be doing some malevolent mudlarking, and we'll show you what we find.
So I don't leave you here alone, right? No, seriously, don't.
So tonight we're mudlarking and telling stories in Wapping, probably the most haunted area of the Thames foreshore.
Execution Dock was used as a hanging site for over 400 years until the 1830s.
The hangings were mainly for crimes of the Admiralty, such as treason and mutiny and murder.
Pirates and smugglers didn't stand much of a chance if they were caught red-handed. The automatic punishment for piracy was death by hanging in a public place.
People who were executed at this dock were symbolically hung over the river rather than on land. Not all hangings were the same, and some were fairly barbaric. If you were a pirate, you were hanged with a shorter rope than usual, extra punishment. This meant you didn't actually hang and die, but were slowly strangled to death, as the drop wasn't long enough to break your neck. This kind of hanging was known as the marshal's dance, as the victim's legs would often jerk and dance as they struggled for air. It was custom to leave the bodies for 3 days while the tide ebbed and flowed over them. If you had done something really bad, your body was then tarred after hanging, put in chains and hung at certain points along the Thames.
The most famous person to be hanged at Execution Dock was Captain Kidd, who was sentenced for piracy and murder in 1701. His was not the smoothest of executions. The rope broke when the hangman tried to hang him, and he had to wait for them to sort out another to try again. Kidd's body was used as a deterrent to would-be pirates, and it hung at Tilbury Docks on a gibbet for 3 years.
There's still a pub named after him in Wapping.
So many pirates and sailors met their sorry end here, and sometimes, on a quiet night, you can hear their screams. It's not one of those nights that would be a very good time to come along. I'm going to tell you the sad tale of Tom Vaughan and Nancy Martock. Nancy Martock is said to haunt the area just beneath the Woolwich ferry, and on a moonlit night she can be seen wandering around, dressed up with feathers in her hair, waiting for a ship to come to take her to join her convict lover Tom over in Australia. Nancy was heartbroken when Tom was sentenced to be transported to Australia, and has spent years and years waiting for him to send for her, and the ship never came. So Nancy spent her time wandering around on the foreshore, looking for the ship, which never arrived. It is said that on a moonlit night, you can see Nancy with feathers in her hair, waiting for Tom, who of course never came.
This is the story of the Blackwall Tunnel Phantom Hitchhiker. In 1972, a motorcyclist was travelling under the Thames via the Blackwall Tunnel, and he saw a hitchhiker. The hitchhiker told him where he wanted to go, and off they went. But as he reached the end of the tunnel, the hitchhiker disappeared. He turned around to see if he could find him, but no, he wasn't there, he'd vanished into thin air. He carried on anyway and went to the house which the hitchhiker wanted to go to, and it turns out that the hitchhiker died several years earlier. Other people have also witnessed a hitchhiker in Blackwall Tunnel. So if you ever go down Blackwall Tunnel, keep an eye out for the hitchhiker.
The story of Amelia Elizabeth Dyer is a very sad one. Amelia Elizabeth Dyer was one of the most prolific serial killers in history, murdering infants in her care over a 20-year period in Victorian Britain. Trained as a nurse and widowed in 1869, she turned to baby farming, the practice of adopting unwanted infants in exchange for money in order to support herself. She initially cared for the children legitimately, in addition to having 2 of her own, but whether intentionally or not, a number of them died in her care, leading to a conviction for negligence and 6 months hard labour. Then she began directly murdering children, the adopted, strangling at least some of them, and disposing of the bodies in order to avoid attention. Clearly mentally unstable, she was committed to several mental asylums throughout her life, despite suspicions of feigning, and survived at least 1 serious suicide attempt. Dyer's downfall came when the bagged corpse of an infant was discovered in the Thames, with evidence leading straight to her. She was arrested on 4th of April 1896, tried for murder of infant Doris Marmon and hanged on 10th of June 1896, almost certainly here at Wapping. At the time of her death, a handful of murders were attributed to her, but there is little doubt she was responsible for many, many more similar deaths, possibly 400 or more.
Okay guys, we've been talking quite a lot about ghost stories, so there's not a whole lot of time left for mudlarking, but we'll try and get a little bit in. There's a sweet little button there, and yeah, we'll keep you posted what else we find. Something behind you, Nick.
Oh! Not nice. Well, I haven't found too much, but what I have found, quite appropriately, is a little fragment of witch's jar, which is this German stoneware here from 1700s, and these used to be large stoneware bottles, often filled with the most nasty things, such as urine, blood, and then with the occasional pin thrown in as well. And these were often buried under doorstops or behind walls to protect houses from evil spirits and ward them away, with the idea that the spirits would go into the Bartman jug, the witch's jar, drown in the wine and become impaled on the pins. And there you can just see a little bit of the design that would have been on the front of the witch's jar there. And I also have a couple of buttons. And looks like the top of a watch. Several pins, there are quite a lot of pins here, and this little lead object, which I'm not sure what that is. Oh, and a little bead.
Look at serious head torch envy. Look at that thing. How bright is that? Nick, what head torch are you using?
It's a company called Olight, and it's an H2R rechargeable LED torch, and it's excellent. It's really, really very good. I'd highly recommend it. I'll show you a picture at the end of this video.
And you've also got a little handbag torch there, haven't you?
I have. It's excellent. It's got a little clip, so you can clip it to your belt, and it's also extremely powerful. Look at that, but it's really handy as well for exploring old forts and old buildings, and it's great because you can just put it in your pocket or your bag. And again, it's an Olight little light there, an LED Olight.
It's really nice.
Torch. Yeah, it's really handy.
It's like a little backup one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's excellent.
Well, that's it, guys. They're the ones to get.
And they're rechargeable as well. So you get a little recharger that comes with it. It's perfect. So it's environmentally friendly. So highly recommend them. Highly recommend them.
Just don't look into the light though, because you'll burn your retinas. Well, in true pirate fashion, we found a bit of fool's gold. Or a bit of pyrite. I might have actually found a flake of actual gold. Look at that. What do you think, guys? Is that gold? Or is that just a bit of brass? It's very thin. Who knows?
Just here I can see a horse's tooth, I think. Great big tooth. And here you can see the tops of clay pipe stems sticking out. See one there, and there's another one. Where's he gone? Just here. No bowls on the end, but plenty of pipe stems.
Big leather shoe. Not the oldest of finds, but it's a spoon, and it's got the number, well, it's got the date of 1976 on it. That'll come out. HM & Co.
I've just picked this up and it looks like the tiniest little shoe sole I've ever seen.
That is tiny.
Yeah, like a tiny weeny little sole of a
That's
shoe.
so sweet.
Could have come from one of those babies that old Amelia murdered and threw in the river. There's something very evocative about soles from shoes because the little feet were in them.
Oh, so sad.
Look at that, tiny.
Yeah, that puts the story together now, so it must be true. Or is it? As you know, we're at Wapping, and this is a good place for the next ghost story about the hanging Judge Jeffreys.